All right, guys, what is up once again with Rick Renegade's Metal Collection? Um Today I'm going to talk about. I know I've been talking about Helloween a lot lately, but I've been binge listening to Helloween basically because it's October. I want to get more familiarized with the albums that I didn't have. I'm kind of a Johnny come lately to Helloween's entire discography. I was always a huge fan of early Helloween with Kai Hansen and Michael Kiske and that era. And of course Walls of Jericho is awesome as well. Anything that had Kai Hansen on it, I was like, yeah, that's my thing. But I kind of neglected everything after um Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 2, just thinking that without Kai, Helloween would just be a generic power metal band. And to be honest, in some ways, yeah, but in other ways, they kind of invented it. But I figured when Kai was gone, it's like you got half of what made Halloween great gone. And then he went and did Gamma Ray. And, I think Gamma Ray was sounded more like Halloween than Halloween did, personally. So I just kind of jumped on the Gamma Ray train and never really looked at Halloween. But I've kind of changed that over the past like 3 or 4 years. I started buying all the 90s Halloween albums. And then as of lately, I had like this past week, I ordered the rest of the 2000s albums that I didn't have. And I'll be honest, the newest Halloween album, just called Helloween, is kind of what got me, interested in Halloween again, kind of got that spark going. So I don't know that, and Gamma Ray hasn't put out an album for quite some time. I can't even remember what year Empire of the Undead came out, but it's been too long. So it's like, well, might as well check out some Halloween if we're not going to get any Gamma Ray. So, and I've been pleasantly surprised. Halloween's a great band. I mean, I did miss out on a lot of stuff. That was definitely a mistake, not checking out the stuff. And I did a video like this. I'm going to do a Gamma Ray versus Halloween head to head. I've already done one, but I mainly did it for the 90s albums for the most part. And now that I've got all of the Halloween albums and I've listened to them at least all the way through, at least a couple of times now, I have a better idea of what of how I would, go at this now. So I have an opinion on 2000s Halloween now. So that's good. So this is going to be kind of fun. I'm probably going to say some things that I've already said before with the last video, but that just kind of goes without saying. I kind of want this one to be more of the definitive head-to-head video. And now that I got the better setup and sound and video quality, so okay. So we all know Kai Hansen left Halloween after Keeper Part 2. I don't entirely know why that happened. Um, my guess is Kai Hansen wasn't really happy for some odd reason. I don't know if it was a musical thing. I don't know, like a direction thing, but he definitely wanted to go his own way. And I don't know. I've always heard the song "I Want Out" was always kind of him, saying what he felt at the time. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. That's just what I've heard. I need to look into that though. I do find it kind of interesting. So when Kai left, he started Gamma Ray. He did his first album, Heading for Tomorrow, and Helloween did the first album without Kai, Pink Bubbles Go Ape. I still I've been trying to look up what Pink Bubbles Go Ape means. I still don't know. But I can tell you um this album this album, some people talk bad about it. It's actually not that bad. Is it Keeper of the Seven Keys? No, it's not. But it's actually pretty good for what it is. And even Gamma Ray's first, debut, their first start was it was kind of weird too. But I feel like Gamma Ray kind of took it in maybe in a little better direction, in my opinion. Now both albums are kind of flawed in some ways. Gamma Ray kind of did like almost like they didn't know where, like Kai didn't know where he wanted to go with it. Like some of it sounded like what he could have done with Helloween, and some of it sounds like Judas Priest, and some of it just sounds like nothing I've ever heard before. There's even some like Queen moments. It's really weird. It's a weird mixed bag, but it's fairly solid. I say there's only one kind of weak song on there, Free Time. It's okay. It's just not great. Pink Bubbles Go Ape still sounds like Helloween, just not as good. It's not as the speed metal isn't quite there, but it's still kind of there. I definitely hear more of you know, both bands have kind of had a sense of humor, but Helloween really kept it. I mean, you got a song called "Heavy Metal Hamsters," if that tells you anything. I mean, you could pretty much just look at the back of the CD and the album cover, and you can kind of tell there's a sense of humor there. But I don't know. Personally, I think Gamma Ray started off a little better with Heading for Tomorrow. I think it's a more straightforward in some ways than Pink Bubbles Go Ape. Like I like the direction here a little more. Um, so that's just I don't know. I just feel like there's more familiar with Gamma Ray than there was with Helloween. So I give Gamma Ray the point. Next, Gamma Ray did. Oh boy. Okay. So Gamma Ray does Sigh No More. I don't, dude. What is with this album cover? I have no idea. But I will say this: this album was hard for me to get into. As a matter of fact, the first couple Gamma Ray albums were kind of hard for me to get into at first because they were just so weird, such a mixed bag. It's power metal, but it's not the same kind of power metal you would expect. Like it's all over the place. There's more Judas Priest, I think, on this early Gamma Ray stuff than anything. And I like Judas Priest, but it's different, So, but it's really good. And honestly, if you actually give this a chance, the songs are great. I pretty much every song on here is good if you give it a chance. However, Helloween did Chameleon. I can tell you right now, if there's anything out there that is as painful to listen to as Saint Anger, Chameleon might be it. Now, at least Chameleon sounds like a well produced and performed album, but the songs just do not hold up. It starts off okay. I think the first song, is it First Time, or I think, yeah, First Time. It starts off okay. Like it makes me want to think, oh, this might be all right. It might be more of a rock album, but it might be good. No, no. After that, it goes downhill quick. I can't even tell you really what highlights are on here other than the first track because I can't listen to it. It's unlistenable to me. It's not very many albums are like that, but it bores me. So Gamma Ray definitely gets the point. This is actually really good. Um, Maybe even a step up from Heading for Tomorrow in a lot of ways. I don't know. So definitely Gamma Ray gets the point there. So rocky start for Helloween. Okay, now Gamma Ray does Insanity and Genius. Helloween does Master of the Rings. Okay, now Gamma Ray's starting to sound like a little more like a traditional power metal band. There's still a lot more Judas Priest in there. I can kind of hear like maybe Painkiller was an influence on him a little bit on here at times. Um, but there's still some experimentation going on here. a little bit of humor still. Um, but Helloween, it's I don't know what Helloween was trying to do exactly with Master of the Rings, but and by the way, does that just mean Lord of the Rings? Like I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, it's like they were trying to go for more of a rock album in a way. Like these songs, it's power metal, but it's especially the first half of this album sounds experimental to me. And I honestly really like the experiments on here. Like I think it's good. I don't have any issues really with the direction. However, I think the first 5 songs are great, and then the other half of the album is not as great. I feel like it just pales in comparison. We almost had something with Master of the Rings that I think could really rival Gamma Ray, but Gamma Ray just stomps all over this once again. I can't help it. But the first 5 songs on here, like Soul Survivor, Where the Rain Grows, Why, Mr. Ego, and Perfect Gentleman, are great songs. I love these songs. Like this album had a chance, but the second half just kind of blew it. So I don't know. So Gamma Ray definitely gets that point again. Oh man, next Land of the Free versus The Time of the Oath. Okay, this is the first Gamma Ray album, and by the way, the first 3 did have a different singer. It had Ralph Sheepers, who now sings for Primal Fear. Now Kai Hansen is back on vocals again, which I think is great. I love Kai's voice. It's kind of weird, but it's good. Like he's got the good like Rob Halford kind of range. He's got an interesting, unique tone to his voice. I like it. It's kind of nasally, but it's cool. I always liked his voice. So, and in my opinion, this is like the next Keeper of the Seven Keys in quality for me. Like seriously, I think Kai Hansen was still putting out like classic power metal albums when Gamma Ray was just trying to figure themselves out. I mean, Gamma Ray was trying to figure themselves out too, but Helloween was really, really trying to figure themselves out. But I will say, The Time of the Oath is more of a traditional power metal album. Like, this is kind of more what they should have been doing, instead of Pink Bubbles Go Ape and Chameleon. But I don't know. It's actually a really, really solid album. And Andy Darris, I think, is a really good singer too. I don't think he's quite as good as Michael Kiske was on the earlier stuff, but Andy Darris holds his own. He's got a good voice. So I really don't have any complaints there. But the songs are good, man. We Burn, Steel Tormentor, Wake Up the Mountain. I mean, these songs are really, really good. But this one, man, this one's totally, totally timeless. Rebellion and Dreamland might be one of the best songs ever written, period. So I don't know. The whole thing's just good. Gamma Ray would have to get the point again. Good power metal album, just not nothing nothing that's like time altering. You know what I mean? If this album didn't exist, nothing probably would have changed. I don't know. It's just one of those type of things. So now, what's Gamma Ray do next? They do it again. They put out another Keeper of the Seven Keys quality type of album, and I don't know. I another pretty well flawless album. Now, I will say this, and this is one CD I thought this came out later than what it did. Okay, so now this is a true head-to-head rival because these both came out. It's both their fifth release. Okay, well, since Kai left Helloween, anyway, that's where we're starting this. So, okay, so what Helloween did right this time, it's basically continuing where the Time of the Oath left off. That is a very good thing. Um, some even say this is one of the best Helloween albums. I have to agree with that. The more I listen to it, the more I Really have to say it really is. I love songs like Push, Falling Higher, Hey Lord, Time is awesome. I mean, there's some great songs on this. And it has a lot of this good speed metal elements. Like it sounds like power metal again. But still, in my opinion, with the exception of a few songs, this just stomps all over it again for me. That's just my taste. But Somewhere Out in Space is just too dang good. So I have to give it to Gamma Ray again. Like, now, this is a pretty good rival here. So Gamma Ray did Power Plant. This is a little bit of a change of pace. Again, we're back to that Judas Priest, influence, but this is really like Painkiller. I mean, tonally, the musically, vocally, it's like if Painkiller was more of a power metal album than just a speed heavy metal album. Power Plant, that's it. um, so I really like it. There's a little bit of weirdness to this album. There's some songs that just kind of don't fit the vibe, like Anywhere in the Galaxies, like Painkiller. Razorblade Sigh is kind of I can hear that Judas Priest. Send Me a Sign. Then you got weird songs like Heavy Metal Universe that sounds like Manowar or something. I don't know. It's not bad, but I think that it's pretty good. It's not one of my top favorites, but it's pretty darn close to being perfect. Um, Helloween did The Dark Ride. Now, this is another album that Helloween did that a lot of people may consider their favorite album. So this is a best album for a lot of people, and rightfully so. It's really good. They really did everything right here. I think the production is the best it's been since Andy Darris has been in the band. The songwriting is just really, and what's funny is it says that's called The Dark Ride, okay, and it's not really that dark. It is at times, but at the same time, it's still happier than most albums. Like, I don't know, I don't, and they even said that it was too dark, and they made the next album a little lighter. It's like, man, I don't know, but this album is pretty well flawless. It sounds like Helloween, but I don't know. There's some sounds like there's some tuned down guitars at times. Definitely a heavier type of Helloween album mixed with the happy power metal stuff, the fast stuff. So very good. I honestly don't know how to compare these two in quality. Like, I don't know which one's better. That's really hard. Um, this is one where I probably would have to put it as a tie. I can't help it. I like both pretty well equally. Okay, so that's the first tie. Now, probably my favorite Gamma Ray album, and as you can see, I got the big poster back there, or it's actually a blanket, but you could tell I like this album. Top favorite album cover of all time, probably. Just love the way that looks. And Helloween follows up with a happier sounding album, a little more comedy. Man, can't talk. More comedy on this one, and well, you can just listen to songs like "Just a Little Sign," like the part where he says "There's something growing in my pants" or something. Like, it's just goofy stuff. Okay, this is one of the best Gamma Ray albums for me. There's a lot of Judas Priest in it. This is probably one of the darker Gamma Ray albums. Definitely like anti-Illuminati, type stuff going on here. It's really, really cool. Um, this is really good too, but I just can't help it. This is one of my top favorite albums of all time. This is just a really good album. So I have to give this point to Gamma Ray easily. So far, Halloween has not had a victory yet. Okay, that's. I'm sure it's going to change here. Okay, then Gamma Ray does Majestic. This was the first Gamma Ray album where I kind of felt something was going wrong. There was a lot of plagiarism. Not that Kai hasn't done this before. Kai has plagiarized a little bit. No World Order had a rapid fire ripoff, sort of with the song Solid. There was a few other things, but this album did it several times. I mean, what is it? My Temple, the first track, goes right into Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, and was it Hell is Thy Home? It pretty much is Leather Rebel by Judas Priest rewritten practically. Just stuff like that. That's just a. I mean, the album sounds good, and there are really great songs on here, but it definitely didn't leave the same impact as No World Order, but it's really good. Then Helloween did Keeper of the Seven Keys, The Legacy. So like a part 3, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I need to listen to it more, but I can tell you right now it's not as good as Majestic. It's good, but one of the least gripping Halloween albums I think I've ever heard. It's kind of weird. Like this one just goes in one ear and out the other for the most part. I don't know why, but I need to give it some more listens. But I can tell you right now, this is definitely nowhere near the quality of the original Keeper of the Seven Keys. So Gamma Ray easily gets that one. Easily. Now Gamma Ray did what Helloween did. A part 2. So Gamma Ray did a part 2 to Land of the Free. How did that turn out? Not very good. This is where things really, really went downhill. I'm not saying that there's nothing good on this. I'm just saying there's even more plagiarisms than before. Like, I don't know what it is. If I don't know if it's that Kai is running out of ideas or he just likes his heroes so much that he wants to be like them too much and then pretty much takes their stuff. I don't know what it is. All kinds of Iron Maiden and Judas Priest stuff ripped off all over the place. I think there's one song that's practically Flash of the Blade rewritten into a Gamma Ray song practically. It's really bad. But there are some good moments, but honestly, this is the only Gamma Ray album that I don't know like the back of my hand because I have a hard time getting through this one. The production's not even that good. Like Majestic was phenomenal sounding and everything before it was phenomenal sounding. This I don't know. I don't know if it was like a do it yourself album. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But Helloween did Gambling with the Devil. Honestly, this was a surprising album. This is one of the newer ones that I bought, and it's really aggressive, really dark, but still very Halloween. I like it. I mean, I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's very good. I can tell you right now that I like this a lot more than I like Land of the Free Part 2. And it's too bad. Look, Land of the Free Part 2 even looks cool. Like, I don't know. Like, I like the album art. I like most of Gamma Ray's album art, but it's just too bad. It's just too bad. It's so finally, Helloween gets one. So, next. Okay, so there's more Helloween albums left than Gamma Ray albums. So I'm going to have to. Hmm. We'll just do it like this. Okay, so next Gamma Ray does To the Metal. Helloween does Seven Sinners. Now, again, great album art. Like, look at this. And I'm going to be honest with you. I love the music on To the Metal. It's really good. It's well done. It's fun to listen to, but there's one problem: the production. I commented on uh, Land of the Free Part Two not sounding as good, but this is worse. The worst part is the vocals sometimes just have this weird Kai Hansen already sounds nasally. I'm not talking about that, but there's almost like another like nasally sound going on that just sounds. I don't know what it is. It just sounds bad. I don't know what happened here. If this album was recorded properly and sounded better, this would be one of my favorites. I mean, it's really good. Now there is some plagiarisms. He basically rewrote um, "Metal Gods" by Judas Priest and made it into a Gamma Ray song. Again, I don't know why he keeps doing this, but it's not cool. It's not interesting. It's really a problem. But everything else is really good. This is a Helloween album that's newer to me. I've listened to it all the way through like once, and I've skipped around through it several times. This is one of those things where I like the music better, but the production makes it hard to listen to. So you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give Helloween a little bit of a chance here. I'm gonna combine Seven Sinners with Straight Out of Hell and put these up against the Gamma Ray. So I'll give Helloween a point. I'll give Helloween a point. Well, actually 2 points because there's two albums there. Okay. Gotta be nice. Gotta be nice. Wait. Put those in the wrong pile. And last and certainly but not least, Gamma Ray kind of pulls things back together and corrects a lot of problems. They did Empire of the Undead. Now this album art's kind of boring. I don't think it's not much to look at, but the music on here is pretty good. Back to that Judas Priest stuff, but and the plagiarisms aren't as bad. On here, I can hear influences, but I don't hear total rip-offs, except for one track where "Time for Deliverance," it's a ballad, totally goes into Queen when like, yeah, it's embarrassing. But anyway, I actually really like this album a lot. It's not perfect. It's far from perfect, but it's good. And Helloween, we'll put this up against My God Given Right. Actually, really, really like this album. It's nothing majorly special. It's just that it's just good. It's just really good. It's fun to listen to. It's a pleasant listen. Um, Production's good. I don't know. It's just a really solid album. It's not one of their best. It's just a solid, solid album. Kind of, sort of what I feel about this, but this one honestly is a little more solid. So believe it or not. Oh, and one thing that's really weird. Okay, okay. What year did these come out? Gamma Ray. Okay, Gamma Ray put their album out 2014. Helloween was 2015. So Gamma Ray was first. There's a song on here called Master of Confusion. And let me tell you, I'm confused. And then there's a track on here called Lost in America. They almost sound like the same song in a way. Like the melody and the some of the guitars are just way too similar. I don't know what happened. Is this like a mechanics four horsemen type of deal or what? Like I don't know what happened, but technically Gamma Rays was released first. So did Kai write it and Helloween stole it, or did Helloween write it and Kai recorded it first and then Helloween went and did theirs? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they both had these ideas and they both went their own way with it. I don't know. I really don't. But they're both good songs. Um, So I don't know. I always thought that was confusing. I tell you what, on these, I could almost go as a tie. Yeah. Well, you know what? No, I'm going to give Halloween the point. I think it wins by a hair because there's no songs on that album that I think are bad, and Time for Deliverance is a total ripoff. So there's more good songs on My God Given Right than on Empire of the Undead. So, okay, there we go. Now I've done a more complete version of this, and now it looks a little more Halloween had more of a chance. Okay, so now let's score this. Gamma Ray got 7 points. Not bad. Not bad. That's really good. Halloween got 4 points. Okay, Gamma Ray, I still would say overall is the better band. Well, I'm talking Helloween without Kai. I mean, if you add in the rest of the Halloween albums, they could be pretty darn equal, probably. But um, personally, with Kai out of Halloween, I think Gamma Ray is the better band overall. But Gamma Ray definitely fell into a huge slump in the 2000s, and they've just been kind of stagnant for a long time. And Halloween, even if they aren't putting out like total masterpieces, they're putting out solid albums, like albums that I can actually listen to from beginning to end. However, I will say, and I'm in another commenter, uh, we talked about this on another video. I think some of the Halloween albums are a little bit too long. There's too many tracks, so you get a little fatigued listening to them. Like I feel like they could end a lot earlier than they do. Like it would be fine. Every album could like cut off a couple of songs and it would be actually probably a better listening experience. So it doesn't feel like a marathon. But whatever. It is what it is. So yeah, so I got a newfound bigger respect for Halloween. They're not just a generic power metal band without Kai. They're actually very good, although I'm still the bigger Kai Hansen Gamma Ray guy. But you know what? Both are great. You can call this your Megadeth and Metallica moment. Both are great. So, yeah, that is what it is. But anyway, if you like this video, like, subscribe. Definitely pushes my videos out to more people and grows my subscribers tremendously. So thanks for watching. Stay metal. Until next time. See ya.